Hello YouTube, this is Daryl Dawes, your blind musician friend, and I'm here to talk about a question that was asked on maybe about a week ago, or maybe a couple weeks ago. And that was, can you record on the MOXF8 or the MOXF6? So let's jump into it. All right, we've got a question that was asked, and that is, can we record on the MOXF8 or the MOXF6? And the answer is yes. There is a few ways to record. Excuse me. I'm going to talk about the basic way. Let's go into song mode, okay? So how do I get there? All right, so you first turn on your keyboard, you're in master mode, okay? You press, now remember we were talking about voice, the voice mode for a while, and I'm gonna get back to that because there's still a lot to talk about as far as sound design that I haven't covered. Let's see, so from here what you do is you press the button right underneath voice, which will be your song mode. Now you're in song mode. From here in this display, you can pick your song that you're gonna, your song location that you're gonna record on. And in this mode, right now, or right where we're sitting here, where we're sitting is a song already. There's already a song here, and these are the factory songs. So how do you play this song? Okay, follow the buttons that are under the screen, okay, and come all the way to the left of those buttons, and you'll find 6 buttons, okay, from left to right, from the furthest left of those 6. On the top is a button called top, takes you to the top of the song. Then you have rewind and fast forward. Underneath that is record, or underneath the top is record, play, and stop. Record, stop, and play. So when you press play, the factory song starts. And you can listen to that on your own time, you know, outside the video. So here is what we're gonna do here. Excuse me. What I want to do is show you how to change your song location first. So when you first come into song mode, it's already on that spot where you can do that. So just start scrolling to the right until you find a blank spot. You're gonna, as a blind user, you're gonna have to keep pressing play to find out if anything happens. And then another way you can do it is press a key on your keyboard, because the default sound will be a piano. Let me turn this up more. Okay, so I'm gonna keep going until I get a piano. I have songs that I already created here, so. Okay, so here's your first sound, a piano. So, how do you change your voices for recording? Okay, there's several ways. I found there's 3 ways to do it. It kind of depends on do you want the instrument effects, or do you want a mixed voice, or what not? For this video, let's just talk about, I'll just give you the shortcut ways, okay? So you can at least get to your sounds. So we have a piano by default. What you do is press category search, okay? And now, by default, I know what I was teaching you with the click method, but by default you should be already on the top left, okay? So now you pick what sound you want to use. For this video, let's go with how about if I just let's go with just the piano. So let's go back to the piano area. And now if you scroll to the right, you can pick, it's just like category search. You can pick your piano that you want to use. Okay, and then you can, if you really want to, you can change your EQs with your knobs on the left here. The 4 knobs, the bottom row works with EQ if it's already, it should be already set there, to brighten your piano. Okay, now keep in mind that if you for some reason want to change your sound after doing that, when you change, if you press the scroll button or turn the data wheel, it's gonna go back to the category search, the top left, and so don't do that, because that's what'll happen. It'll just mess up your sound. You have to redo it again. So let's redo it again. I reset my I set my EQs. Okay. Now from here, what you do is just press enter twice. I usually hit song mode just to be sure I'm in the song mode. And from here, you can press record. And now, as far as setting tempo, there's a couple of ways you could do that. I find the easiest way as a blind user is just tap tempo. So what that means is you're gonna hold shift down, and with your other hand, tap in the tempo you want. 2, 3, 4. And then after you tap it in, you press play, and you should have your click. Now, before I recorded anything, I wasn't sure what I was going to play, but I'll just play by ear, I guess. So I don't have any issues with copyrights or whatever. Okay, so what I wanted to talk to you about, though, is if I remember correctly, when I first got into this mode of recording, my click didn't work. It didn't, I pressed play and it was just silent, but it was recording. But it was just too it was frustrating to me. So what I'm gonna do is show you how to get your click started. There's the song button under the voice button. If you go down again to the next button, and then over 1, that's utility. Let's press that. Okay, and then let's press F2. That's the bottom row under the screen. The first one is on the left is F1, and then F2. So press F2, and then I'm gonna press F1. That's where we want to be, I believe. and the very top left should be where you can set your click. Okay, and you can have it off. You can have it on record only, right? Record and play, and then all. That means it'll just keep clicking. All right, I'm gonna leave it there for a minute to show you some other stuff. Go to the right, and then this scroll to the right one with the cursor, and then we should be able to change. Let's see here. Let me make sure it's working. Hold on. Okay, this is not where I want to be. Hold on. Let me see what I did here. Okay, so let's go down. Let's go back over to the left, top left, and go down one. And now you can change how your click works, okay? So we can, here's our normal, and then here's our, okay? So it speeds it up to 16th notes, right? So, okay. Now you can scroll over, oh no, so let's go down again. So go down again, let's see what this is. Okay, no, nothing's happening here. So you guys, I'm totally blind too, so bear with me for a second. Okay, so there's that. Okay. There should be a spot where you can change your sounds, and I'm looking for that for you. I believe it's over. Okay, here's that. Found it, I think. No. Okay, so all right. So sorry about the delay there. So what we have is at the top is the click, and then you have down one is the spot where you can change your tempo, pace. Okay. Go down again, and I'm not exactly sure what this is. I think it has something to do with the outs. Okay, and I don't have everything set up that you can plug into the back of this board, so let's move on. Go down again, and this is where you could change. So our original click that we came with is this one. Okay, that's what you'll find. I found that I like this one that I had originally when you first heard it. I like this one. So after you, let me stop the click. I'm going to set mine back on record. Okay, so after you set that, press the store button so it'll save all your changes. Okay, and remember to press the key on the keyboard to find out if it's processing. And when there's a blank sound, it's processing. Okay, so when there's no sound, I mean when it comes back to the sound, you're back into a spot where you can move on and do what you need. So we're gonna hit song, gonna hit record, and now from here you can press play, and you'll have your count in. It'll be one. Oh, I know what that was. That one thing that we were looking at when I said, oh, it's not doing anything. That's where you could I believe that was the spot where you could change how many measures it counts in before it starts recording. So let's find out how many measures. I might have changed it now, so and I'm gonna press stop and just find out. Press top and then press play. Okay, so obviously I must have set it to record right away. So I have to change that because that's not what I want. So let's select you don't want that. I'm going to show you how to undo your track. So you press the you're going to press the job button, and if you remember when we were doing sound design, we had the store button and we had the edit button. In the middle is job, so we're going to hit job and just press enter twice. Or actually, you only need to press it once. I pressed it twice, so that meant redo. So press it once, that's undo, and then you just press record again, and you're back to your track where you can record. This video might be a little long, so bear with me because there's a lot of stuff in the song area that you're going to want to use just for basic recording. So I have to try to cover that. Now, I want to talk about the top left. When you're in record mode, top left edge of the first thing you can pick is where you can pick replace. You can pick, so the next, if you scroll once with the data wheel or the plus and minus, you have overlay or overlap or overdub, that's what it's called. And then you have step, punch in, and then you have step recording. Okay, we're not going to talk about step, punch. We may talk about overdub, but let's go to replace, back to replace, and then in this same screen, come down twice with the down arrow, and this is where you can pick your quantize. By default, it's off. No quantize. Okay. If you scroll once, I believe that's 30-second notes. Okay. Scroll again, I believe that's 16 triplets. Scroll again, that's 16th notes. So the next one would be 8th triplets and 8th notes, quarter triplets and quarter notes. Okay, and this, what that does is it takes your nearest. If you're playing quarter notes, it'll make them all right on point, right on the metronome. Okay, and so that's what quantize does. I'm going to leave it on 16th, I believe, even though I might not play any 16th notes. But here we go. And then I press play. Okay, and you can, now I'm just gonna do something short, because you can play from the beginning of the song to the end, just like you would in Cakewalk or any software, Pro Tools, any of the software that you might use. You can do the same thing on here, but you can also do pattern mode. I'm not going to talk about pattern mode right now. Sorry about the engine. If you can hear an engine, there's a mechanic working on a car in our neighborhood. So, all right. So we were on track 1. This is track 1, and where you find all your tracks is to the right. Those buttons that are going across, it's 8 buttons on the top, and then under that there's that button by itself. Then you have 8 buttons, and then you have 8 again. Okay. So the middle row will be track 1 through 8, and then the last row will be 9 through 16. So you have 16 tracks to record on. Okay. If you go to track 2, you just for picking your voice, just copy this, same steps you did to get your first track. Hit category search. You're at the top left, should be. Then you pick your sound. You can pick your bass, and remember, it runs just like category search, exactly like the category search in voice mode. So you have underneath, you have the spot where you could pick the type of bass. I'm on bass now, so pick electric bass. Like. That's the first one. Okay, so I found my bass, hit enter twice and hit record, press play. I could set my quantize, but you know what, I'm not gonna set it, so it's just okay. So like I said, just for this video's sake, I'm just going to do it very short like this. I'm not going to do verse, chorus, verse, chorus. No. So then you can just keep going and add drums. So you track 3, you press the track 3 button, and you hit category search. We pick our drums. So we have a drum here. Now we can also scroll through these and find out which drum we want to use. So let's see. I'm going to try these here. Let's look at my options for things here. I'm going to show you something else to ref this track because I think that's important too, so you know, because it was something that was frustrating me too, and I'll talk about that in a second. So here's my drums. This is not like an intro, so not much, not gonna do anything real fancy. Well, let's see here. This time I will quantize. So you go to, you go down twice, come over here to the quantize area, down twice from the top left, and pick, I'm gonna pick 16th notes, 1, 2, 3. Okay, so 16th notes there. Then I'm gonna press record and see what I can do here. Make sure. Okay, let's play that back and see what we have here. Here we go. Let's see if we can play it back. Okay, not bad. All right, now here's what I wanted to talk to you about. Come back over here to the area where you found your voice mode, song mode, you know, etc. So if you're not sure how this is laid out, if you're just new to this and you're listening to just this video, you haven't listened to the other ones, I really suggest you do. If you haven't though, let's see here. I'm going to tell you that on the right side of the data wheel, the data dial with the fingerprint, there is a total of 9 buttons, okay? Stacked on, you know, they're stacked 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Now, the first one is voice, the next one is performance, then master, and then coming down to the next row is song, pattern, and mix, and that's the button we want to press. The other 3 buttons, just so you know, is quick set file, utility, and I believe this is quick setup. It's for your setting up your DAW, your DAW, to run it remotely. Or I think that's a remote button. So anyways, we want mix. So we're gonna hit mix, and in this area, these are the drums I was using the drums here. You can use your left cursor to scroll through the tracks and your right cursor to scroll through the tracks. Okay, so we want track 1. Press F1, press SF1. So you're going to press F1, then you're going to press SF1, and on the top, you're going to use your up and down cursors. On the top is pan, and right under that is volume. That is the one everybody's probably like, oh, how do I turn my track up, right? So you can turn your track up, you can turn it down with the data wheel, or you can use the plus and minus buttons. I prefer the data wheel. And actually, if you put your thumb on shift while you have your finger in that finger hole for the data wheel, you can turn it and it'll move quickly through the volume settings. Okay? Okay. I'll do another video on more of this mode here because there's some other nice features. But these are the only 2 things you can pick as volume and pan in this screen. Okay? So then after you are done setting your things here, you can press store, then press enter twice, and it'll store your song and your mix. Okay? So that is song mode. Should I touch upon pattern mode now? Well, pattern mode is basically the same thing. If I do this, I'll do a basic idea with pattern mode. Let me clear out this. I'm not going to keep that song. So, pattern mode, same thing here. When you first get into pattern mode, you should be on the spot where you can pick your patterns, okay? And you can listen to these. There's already patterns here. And you want to do the same thing. Scroll through until you find an empty spot that you can record, okay? And once you find that spot, again, you have piano. Now, the thing about pattern mode here, it's basically four bars. You could change it. The way I navigate this is in pattern play. I go down twice with my cursor, over about 4 times with my right cursor. Click over 4 times, and then this is where I could change it. It should be at 4 bars here. I'm going to change to 5 with the plus 6, 7, 8 bars. And now it should be 8 bars long, and it will automatically loop at the end. So you press record. Here's our piano. Make any changes you want to before you begin recording. Pick your voice with the category search. Change your EQs. Change your filters or whatever you want to change for the sound that you're working on. Make your adjustments and then record. Okay. Now, we're going to press play. Oh, and don't forget to set your tempo. So let's set a tempo. Let's say, by default, it comes in at 120. So I'm going to press record here. Oh, I want to mention too, same thing here in record. You can, you have replace at the top, you have overdub, you have punch in, and then step recording. We're going to use replace. Underneath that, twice down, is your quantize. There's let's see, the same setup in quantize as the song mode. It's exactly the same setup. There's some other things you can do with these patterns as well that I won't be able to cover in this video. Okay, there's like play effects and things of that nature. You could set up arpeggios. You can use the mix mode again here to set your volume to your sounds as you record. Okay, so let's see. You know what? I'm not gonna use piano. I'm gonna pick a different sound. So let me get out record, and I just hit stop to do that, and then go category search. So let's just mess around with this. So if because I'm just trying to show you how it loops anyway. So all right, so here's our drums. Let's go with the drum track first, and I press enter twice, press pattern this time, and press record, press play. So we have an 8-bar pattern right there. Okay, if that was an intro, we wouldn't want 8 bars, right? Okay. From here, if I let it keep recording and started playing other keys, like if I already knew what keys I was going to strike for my drums, right? It would have it goes automatically into overdub. So now if you press record and press play, it's not on replace anymore. It automatically moved it to overdub. Oh, wait a minute. Something happened. Hold on. 1 second. I might be wrong about that. Let me make sure my recording even came out. Okay, there's my recording. Right? Okay. So let's press record, and you know what? Just to be sure, I'll move it to overdub, and press. Oh yeah. No, I don't need to set my quantize either. So we'll just press. So that's what's going on. There's no counting for this pattern. And so my accents were off because I didn't have a counting. I'm gonna go fix that right now, actually. So here's our click. Okay. Okay. I think that my counting is set to off, so I'm gonna try to see if this works here. Now let's see what we have. Okay, no, it's still coming in right away. So it must be over here. Get the right one. Turn that on. Yes. Okay. So where that was, that to change your how you count in is when you're in F2. Okay, remember utility, F2, then press F1. Top left is where you change your click, mode, the click mode. So you have the all, and then the next mode is, going backwards, is play and record together, and then record. So what play and record does is, if I were to press play for my pattern, you'll hear the click. That's what it does. Also, I might add to keep in mind to turn your click off if you're going to do that, because it is part of the polyphony. Yes, it is. All right. So that's over to the right from that is where you change how many clicks before it starts. And the first one, the first choice is off. It goes right into recording right away. The next one is 1 count, and the next one should be 2 counts. I'm gonna put mine on 1 count. That's what I like. So then you press store, and make sure it saves. Okay, and remember, press the key, and then after it's no sound, then the sound comes back. That means it's saved. Okay, so back to our pattern. So we have our I'm going to redo the hi-hat. Replace. There's our hi-hat. So now I know there's a count in. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. Okay, remember we said it goes into overdub, right? So from here we can okay. So then you press stop, and it saved it already into you know, did this little quick processing. And to save your song or pattern, just press the store button and hit enter twice. That's all you have to do. And remember to press the key to make sure there's that it's processing. No sound means it's processing. Okay. Next thing I should tell you real quick before I end this video is that to the right, on the top left in pattern play, because that's where you end up after you press stop. To the right is a very important piece you want to know about. And what I'm going to do to demonstrate that is I'm going to go back to the factory songs, or factory pattern, the first one here. This one here, to demonstrate what I'm talking about. So in the past, we've been copying patterns, okay, and going from pattern 1 to pattern 2, pattern 3, pattern 4 to create our song. Yamaha did something different on this board. To the right is what they call section. So section A is what we have here. Then you have section B. If you scroll once, you have section B. And then if you scroll again, there's section C. And so on and so on. And what they did is they made it so that that's what you do. You just go from section to section. And you can pick these sections. And I'll do another video on, well, you know, I really should break this video up, because this is going to be a really long video if I don't. So in my next video on song and patterns, or on this topic, I will go over the section more in depth. But I just want to show you that's what they do for pattern mode. So right now you probably want to just play with song mode, because this is going to get really complicated. And it's as a blind person, we can still do it, because I have already. So, but this is what they did, is they put them in sections. And so here's the full chain of that pattern, because it's not in your song area. Here's the full, this is what the factory did. So you can hear it in entirety. This is called pattern chain, and we'll talk about that in another video. keeps going. If you want to listen to it, in its entirety, what I'll tell you to do is press SF6. Let me make sure I'm telling you right, because I don't want to tell you wrong here. Hold on. Let's just double check. SF. No, it's F6, I believe it is. Let's see. Is it? I believe it's F6. So I'm gonna double check now. Yes. So there it is. It's F6. And now, one last thing. In this mode, you can press your, remember the buttons that we were using for track 1 through 16? You can use these same buttons here to get into the different patterns. There's 4 buttons way on the right, and yeah, the pattern button is the first one that you'll come to on the top row. This is at the right end of the keyboard. The last button's just above, let's see what note that is, just above the second B flat from the top. You'll see 4 buttons there. All right, press that, and now your track buttons turn into the sections. Okay, and you can have a bunch of sections. I mean, they went all the way up to section what, 10 on here. So yeah, you could do a lot, and then you'll chain it. But I'll show you that in another video. Okay, so if you like this video, please hit that like button and subscribe to my channel so you can be notified. You'll want to change your settings from personalized settings to all. Okay, and that way you'll get my newest video. You'll be notified of my newest videos that I upload. All right, YouTube. Well, with that, I believe I covered everything. So have a good one, and God bless.